The idea of the Speech Act, which has been theorized by the Oxford philosopher J.L. Austin, into what is known as the Speech Act theory, and that is what I'm going to talk about today. Then what are we talking about? A philosopher. This is a linguistic channel, as I mentioned. While we use based on linguistic knowledge, there's also communication that is based on knowledge of outside world. Then there's a fact that the speech theory has received a lot of attention by linguists because there is a certain aspect of linguistic communication that can very be explained by the Speech Act theory. Traditionally, the attitude towards language is based on three assumptions. That is, the basic sentence type is a declarative statement or assertion. That is the principal use of language to describe the state of affairs by using statements that the meaning of utterances can be described in terms of their truth or falsity. Austin developed his speech theory in a way of reaction to these assumptions about language, which he didn't agree with. Because Austin's idea was that language is far more than making declaration of statements or making utterances that can be judged based on their truth or falsity. He made two important observations. First is that not all sentences are statements, and that much of the conversation is made up of questions, exclamation, commands, and expression of wishes. To explain this idea, let's look at few sentences. Excuse me, although it sounds like a question, it is maybe an objection. Are you serving? Hello? 6 pints of stout or a pack of peanuts, please. So obviously, it is just an announced phrase. Give me the dry roasted ones. How much? Are you serious? Tempore all mores. There is a phrase from Cicero in the times of old custom. Now the question is that these sentences or descriptions, are they declarative statements or statement about facts? Can they even be judged or be either true or false? Obviously not. Even sentences that are declarative form of English, there is a lot of times that they are not making statements actually. I promise to take this taxi home. You might think you're making like a statement, like you are making a statement or fact, but it is not a statement of fact. You see a promise. When you make a promise, you're going to make a commitment about doing something in the future. So no fact has taken place yet. I bet you £5 that he will breathalyze later. I bet you how is like that. It means that I'm willing to bet you the amount of money on this particular thing, and that is not again as a fact. I declare this meeting open again. You're performing a function. I warn you of legal action will ensure again that you warn someone in a way. Are you making a statement, or are you willing to tell something about potential legal force that you're capable of using against that person or other people that are capable of using the legal force? So in your way and each of these sentences, instead of making a statement of facts, you're performing some sort of action. They are not the statement of facts. They are actually some sort of action which we perform using language. The point is, whatever the means of expressing the language is what we are doing, is performing a kind of action. That is why these are called performative utterances. For example, you can say, hereby name this ship the Flying Dutchman. You could add the words hereby and you see that the sentences will make sense, and you can clarify that it is a performative statement. When you think about performative aspects of language, you need a theory to explain it, and that is what Austin did. He proposed the speech theory to explain the aspect of language. You see the way this fits with pragmatic and the kind of saying. He coined the term a speech act, which you have to do with behavior of the speaker here in communication. It is not an act of speech, it is a communicative activity. It is a location of act. And here in the next speech, he categorized these statements, directives. You can direct your listener to do something, command them, commit. If you commit to do something, like I promise, I bent, express your feelings. So when you're expressing your feelings, you can say somebody's feeling is true or false. It is a statement. It is not a statement of fact. It is about your feeling. When you apply your eyes, you sympathize or welcome to. And then there is verbs that we use to indicate these different kind of speech acts. These are called performative words. In other words, when you perform a speech act, you're expressing your intention in relation to different social functions. And in order for your speech act to come true, it has to meet certain conditions which are called felicity conditions. You are saying the part of the meaning of an utterance is intended for social function. Communication and language is more than acquiring the pronunciation and grammar. You're seeing and talking about pragmatics, asking questions, making suggestions. Obviously, every language is morphonemes, intonations, sentence patterns in which you make questions, mark questions, wishes, order, and the like. But communicating this function is made to lie as a knowledge of social conventions, which is again pragmatic knowledge outside language and the local content to one another. This is the area where you coordinate your linguistic and non-linguistic knowledge. You put them in sync and you coordinate them to interpret intended meaning. Going back to the felicity conditions, just to clarify that, what do we mean actually when we say that there are certain things that you can say in language, but in order for them to come true, you have to fulfill certain felicity conditions. That is that you have deeply and highly institutionally wise in society. For example, I declare you man and wife. You can say that 22 random people, but they are going to be husband and wife. It depends on who I am. It depends on my position in society and our relationship.